Welcome to another episode of NBA 2K20 Roster Edits. Today we're going to look at the Los Angeles / Minneapolis Lakers franchise. I just have to say, without making too many changes, this is going to be a pretty short video because I only have one change that I'm going to make. Now, with that being said, also check down in the honorable mentions. There may be some players that you felt that I overlooked. They're definitely been considered. However, these are just my recommendations. That's the beauty of NBA 2K20. You can make them, the rosters, however you like them. So, I must say right out of the box, this is one of the best teams on the game. They cover just about all their bases with this team. There's a Hall of Famer that's been omitted that I added to the list. And before I jump into this too much further, I am going to say that I did not put Anthony Davis nor LeBron James on this roster. Now, only time will tell to see if they dethrone some of these all-time greats as all-time Lakers. Now, I'm not saying that, for example, Jamaal Wilkes is better than LeBron James. I'm also pretty safe to say that Anthony Davis hasn't surpassed Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, or even Pau Gasol or George Mikan as one of the best power forward centers in the history of the Lakers. He's got a lot more years to play in LA before he does that. So, with that said, let's talk about this team. Point guard, Magic Johnson. Center, Shaquille O'Neal. Shooting guard, Kobe Bryant. Point guard, Jerry West. Another center, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Small forward, Elgin Baylor. Small forward, James Worthy. George Mikan at center. Wilt Chamberlain at center. Pau Gasol at center. Shooting guard, Gail Goodrich. Small forward, Jamaal Wilkes. Shooting guard, Byron Scott. Shooting guard, Mychal Cooper. And point guard, shooting guard, Derek Fisher. So my only recommendation is to change or to drop Derek Fisher, and I added a Hall of Famer in his place. However, he's not in the top 13, so it's more of a filling out your 15th man on the roster type of person. So let me jump right into this and let's see what the starting lineup looks like. Alright, so my starting lineup looks like this, and this is a lot different than what it looks like on the stock roster of the game. However, I feel that this is the most effective lineup to put on the floor, and I'll explain why. Magic Johnson at point guard, of course. The late Kobe Bryant at shooting guard. I feel Elgin Baylor should be the starting small forward. I think that Wilt Chamberlain could be slotted in at the power forward position. And I feel that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the all-time leading scorer in the history of the NBA, needs to be the starting center. I'm sorry. So the game has Shaquille O'Neal at the starting center position. Now, I don't disagree that Shaq was a great Laker, but I just can't bring myself to say that he's a better center than Kareem, especially offensively with all the numbers that Kareem scored. Now, you could slide Shaq down at the power forward position or even Kareem down there. However, I'd rather have Shaq Diesel coming off the bench to be the dominant force that he can be when Kareem's not out on the floor. So that's why I put Chamberlain at the starting power forward position, even though he truly isn't a power forward either. He was the big man, the center. So with that said, Shaq is the backup center, at least on my team. Backup point guard, Jerry West. Backup small forward, Hall of Famer James Worthy. And this is something that I want to address as well. Pau Gasol is listed as a center on the team, so I simply make him a power forward, and he becomes the backup power forward. Gasol played both the power forward and center positions throughout his career, so this isn't a stretch by any means. However, as a Laker, he was a center more than he was a power forward. And I feel sliding him, that's a great backup power forward to Chamberlain. You could even argue he's the starting power forward. Backup shooting guard, Gail Goodrich, another Hall of Famer. Now, the reason I moved Gasol to power forward is we have another center on this team, George Mikan. Now, I don't know about you, but playing a roster with 5 centers is just not relevant. I mean, there's two centers that aren't even going to see any minutes whatsoever unless you make some changes. So that's why Anthony Davis really does not fit on this roster at this point in his career. Backup small forward and also can play a little shooting guard if needed. That is Jamaal Wilkes, who also is a Hall of Famer that went to UCLA. I round out the roster with the only non-Hall of Famer, and that is Byron Scott. And I feel that Byron Scott makes this team only because he can play the shooting guard and the point guard position. And that's really why I stick him in there as the 13th man. I'm going to show you the next person on the list, and you may want to put them in there instead. I leave Mychal Cooper alone, but this again goes back to you don't need another power forward. And that is Hall of Famer Vern Mikkelsen. And Vern Mikkelsen was a very, very good player for a very long time on the Minneapolis Lakers when George Mikan was there, when they won their championships in Minneapolis. And I feel he needs to be recognized as one of the all-time greatest Lakers, being he's a Hall of Famer. So that's why I added him to this roster. I don't think he cracks the top 13 because you really don't need another power forward on this team. But in case you really do need one, there he is. So Mychal Cooper will be the one that I would drop if you wanted to add LeBron James. And then you could argue to put LeBron James maybe as the 13th man, or maybe even move Jamaal Wilkes down to the 13th man. And I think by the time James is done playing as a Laker, we will probably see him as one of the all-time greatest Lakers when it's all said and done. But right now, in 2020, I don't put him on the team. Not yet, at least. So we'll put an asterisk behind this video. Not yet. So, who coaches this team? None other than Pat Riley. This doesn't even look like Pat Riley, but it's the only guy I could find with slick back hair that has a picture. So I thought that worked. Also, this guy has a lot less hair than Pat Riley, but that's all I could work with the pictures that are on the game. So I hope you agree with my roster edits for the Lakers. This is a shorter video, so I look forward to your comments below.